This edition of Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts, is being brought to you by Dustless Blasting. It's the future of surface preparation. Cargo Glide, flexible cargo management solutions. MSD, ignitions, distributors, coils, and more. And by Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back to the garage.
Welcome back to Tech Garage. We're this close to a lot more power in our beastie 4-liter Jeep. Now, I have the fuel rail hardware completely disconnected. Easy to do, just 4 bolts. Also took off some brackets here so we have good visibility and access to replacing these injectors. I've also disconnected each one of the fuel injector wiring harnesses, and I've got them stacked in here kind of orderly so there's no potential for issues on the reinstall. Finally, before we take this off, I checked the Schrader valve here one more time to make sure we had no pressure, no fuel in the line, not even a drip. We did depressure it nicely. Now, if you're going to remove the fuel supply line, which is next, you've got to back down this safety clip. You've got to get a professional fuel line disconnect tool like this. It's cheap, but it means everything as you try to separate these two. It slides down and into that coupling. You work it in, pull the whole thing toward you. You got to be patient here. Work that fuel supply line off, and there you go. And no leakage of that supply line either. Again, evidence that we depressurized this system nicely. Take the tool off, and you can see this fuel pressure rail is moving. I did that gently, and I was very patient. And out comes the fuel rail. And I think I hear John with some nice new injectors here from BWD.
Yeah, I got the whole set. Cha-ching, we're in business.
Awesome.
What we need to do now is just basically pop a clip off and then go ahead and pull the injector out, and then we'll put the new ones in. But a super important tip, these are great injectors. Why? Because they come with the O-ring on the top and the bottom. You can see the O-rings. Some do, some don't. So make sure if they have the O-rings, you may have to find the other ones may not have it.
These are missing them.
And these have it. So
It's
what
gotta
happened
be in
here?
the cylinder head.
Absolutely. We got 3 of them sitting in the cylinder head.
Okay, John, while you're prepping number 1, I'm going to harvest this final O-ring out of the intake manifold to make sure we're ready for the new injectors.
Great. Now all we got to do is take a little lube the O-ring, put it on there. Make sure you use this. Now, these O-rings are really a tight fit, so you may have to just work it in, just gently twist and push and twist and push. It's not so easy, but you got 50 pounds of fuel pressure on the other side of that, so you want to make sure, number 1, you don't pinch it, and number 2, it went in like that all the way in. Now we just take the clip, re-secure it back on there, and we'll go back and we'll do each one of our injectors the same way. Make sure we're clean, make sure you don't double O-ring it. Then what you want to do is just take the fuel rail, reverse the procedure, and put it back on the car just like he took it off. This thing ought to run like a beast.
I'm excited. Take your time, be patient. Anybody can do this if you follow the right procedures. You talk about more power. Who gets to drive this thing first?
Brian, all that's left is one of our favorite segments, the email question of the week.
John, Max from Flagstaff, Arizona emailed us this week. He's got an '08 Malibu that after it sits for a while or overnight, it takes it a long time to start. It's sluggish in the startup process. Any suggestions?
Max, to understand what's going on with your car, we got to look at the fuel system. Now, the fuel system starts right here at the pump, and this is the supply line. It brings it up, goes through the rails, gives your injectors the fuel, but then it returns also through a pressure regulator. Now, the pressure regulator, it's open at idle, and it lets a lot of fuel return back to the tank because we don't need it. But then when we get to wide open throttle, it closes and backs up pressure because we're going to need a little more fuel pressure if you want to go fast. Now, you can take that gauge we took earlier, simply just turn the key on, bring our fuel pressure up. Now, what a lot of people don't know is there's a check ball in the fuel pump that's supposed to hold that pressure when we shut the key off, and our pressure regulator is supposed to close, keeping that pressure in the rail. If your pressure's not in the rail, it's slowly going to drop. Brian, I saw you run a few tests before. Can you help out Max with what you can do?
Sure, I think so. Max, if you have access to your supply line and your return line, a couple tests you can do. Pinch off the supply line. And when you pinch off the supply line, if your pressure stops dropping, then the problem is definitely in the pump, probably that check valve that John mentioned inside the pump, and you'll have to replace the pump. If you can get access to the return line that's coming back into the tank from the fuel rail, pinch off that return line. If your pressure continues to stop dropping, then chances are the problem is the pressure regulator valve.
That's right. Now, if you pinch them both off, Max, and it's still dropping pressure, one of these injectors are leaking. And think about it. If they're leaking down, you don't have the pressure. So when you come out of work or overnight or extended period of time, you start to crank your car, it may take a while to build up fuel pressure to get those injectors to shoot in your engine. Well, Brian, with a town car, we put them MSD coils on there.
Yeah.
It may sound a little funny putting MSD coils on a town car, but you know, we did the job right. That engine's across the line of Ford, Mustangs, trucks, whatever it is. And like I said earlier, a chain's only strong as its weakest link, so that package was the way to go. Well, now it's time to get out to your garage and make your car run smooth. From our garage to your garage. Thanks for watching Tech Garage.
Production assistance for Tech Garage is provided by Chipola College, located in Marianna, Florida. Founded in 1947, Chipola College has a current enrollment of over 2,000 students. Chipola was recently ranked as one of the top 3 community colleges in the United States.